Hello and welcome to the Sachsenring circuit. The waiting is finally over. The German MotoGP Grand Prix will be starting in just a few minutes.
Wave the green flag, the riders can focus their thoughts and prepare to race another German Grand Prix here at the Sachsenring circuit.
The German Grand Prix is underway here at Sachsenring, and will the Saxon King come out on top? It is, no, he won't. It is the drive of the Ducati that sees off, and Petrucci pushes him out as well. Marquez is pushed back to fourth place. Rossi's come through into that third place. No, he hasn't. Marquez is pulled him back, and Vinales is all over Rossi as well. Down to turn 3 already we go. This is going to be, oh, we've already got a puller. That looked like a KTM on its side back there. We'll have to wait and see who that was. Out went as well the Suzuki, just about pulling back in as well. That's Rins, I think. No, it's not. It's actually Iannone. Iannone's had a monster of a start here. He's third last. Still out front. It's the Ducati from Petrucci. 2 Ducatis lead the Honda. You're not going to get a word in, Neil. I've only got to tell you that.
and with Lorenzo, all weekend he's been incredibly fast on the first 2 laps out of the pits. I've been watching him. I expect him to pull a lead. That said, Danilo Petrucci, who sat in second, who qualified second, has been incredibly fast all weekend as well.
It's all going to be about tyre degradation at the end of the day. Nobody quite knows where they're going to be after 20 laps of this racetrack, and that is the waterfall, the Ralph Waldman curve as it's now called, turn 11, and already I'm seeing lots of smoke coming off the Valentino Rossi stands, the yellow smoke as we go through there, but it's going to be Jorge Lorenzo that leads here at Sachsenring at the end of the first lap. Only 29 more to go, and it's Petrucci second, Marquez third, Rossi in fourth place on the 46, then it's the 25 of Vinales, then it's Cal Crutchlow and Dovizioso up behind Crutchlow, looking at the inside of Crutchlow, Crutchlow looking at the outside of Vinales. At turn 1, tricky corner on a MotoGP bike. Turn 2, just as tricky as well. No run off here. Really, you don't want to fall down. Turn 3, the Omega corner now. Round the back. As we start to power back up the hill, you wait so long on a feather throttle here on a MotoGP bike. You spend 50 seconds of this 1 minute 20 lap on the left-hand side of the bike. You heard about Jack Miller talking about edge grip and laying off the throttle just a little bit. It's all about feathering the throttle all the way through these 7 corners until you turn right onto Ralph Waldman curve. It is about spinning that rear tyre, Neil. You've got to conserve it.
You have to conserve it, and it is really difficult, especially these early parts of the race. If someone like Lorenzo's pulling away, what do you do? Do you let him go and just hope his tyre falls off a cliff, or do you go with him? At the moment, it looks like everyone's trying their best to hang on and go with him.
Big problem with Lorenzo, he's smooth on tyres. He's not a man who spins up a motorcycle, so he could make those tyres last.
Yeah, well, he's got a medium rear in, and believe it or not, just to confuse everybody, Marc Marquez has got a soft rear in.
Yeah.
But Marc Marquez in FP1, remember, did the whole session on a soft rear.
27 laps.
Yeah, so just to go back, the riders that crashed were Alex Rins and Pol Espargaro on lap 1.
Yeah, Pol Espargaro on the KTM, that's a bit of a disaster as far as he's concerned. Jack Miller also found himself out a bit wide, so Jack Miller is right at the back as well now. So Jack Miller went up. Wow, hello Cal. Nice to see you, Cal Crutchlow. So Cal Crutchlow does over Vinales. Crutchlow moves up on the 35 machine in front of the 25 of Vinales, and up behind him the 0-4 of Andrea Dovizioso. And it looks like Danny Pedrosa that's in there as well. So Danny Pedrosa back in 8th place at the moment. Still though, easing away, Lorenzo.
And the lap time, he crashed on lap 1, so that's old news. Lorenzo's lap time is very, very fast, for 22.1. So he's not conserving tyres. I was really interested to see what lap times they're all going to be aiming for. I was going to say, if you're going to conserve tyres, you've got to be doing mid to high 22, so...
Yeah, he's not.
He's not.
Just to underline.
Yeah, a 22.1 is a fast lap time.
Look at them all stuck together. There's Alvaro Bautista on the 19 bike. They found something with that motorcycle, haven't they? Because it's been working for him the last couple of Grand Prix. Alvaro Bautista is fighting for his life as well in MotoGP. He might not have a ride after this year.
It looks like he's out of a ride. Everything I'm hearing is that Fabio Quartararo, the Moto2 rider, is going to take that second Yamaha in that Petronas team.
End of the lap comes Jorge Lorenzo from Danilo Petrucci. Lorenzo never ever won a race here at Sachsenring.
Unbelievable, isn't it? The problem is, they don't give wins away when Marc Marquez is riding around with this track. He's obviously not won the last 5, because Marc Marquez has won the last 5 MotoGP races around here. So.
Cal Crutchlow looking good there. Look at that. Cal Crutchlow is right up there with him. So Cal Crutchlow, fastest lap of the race. Crutchlow is just, he's right there on the back now of Valentino Rossi. I can hardly get it out my mouth. Come on, Cal. I'm not biased. Lorenzo out front, Petrucci second, still Marc Marquez. And this is just what they needed, was to keep Marc Marquez at bay. The fear I had was that Marc Marquez would get away and find a rhythm, and then you wouldn't get near him. But right now, where he's at, if he gets it wrong and spins up that soft rear tyre, he's going to run out of tyre at lap 20.
Oh, watch right in the middle of this pack. I can see Paul up the inside.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he
tripped over the back of the other.
Iannone. He hit the back of Iannone, yeah, which obviously wiped out Rins.
Well, that's the other way round normally.
Yeah, pretty well, yeah.
No, normally isn't. But
do you know what that all boils down to? You might think it sounds strange. That all boils down to morning warm-up, because Paul was fastest in morning warm. He knew he had a chance to get certainly well inside the top 10, but he had to risk a lot from having qualified poorly, so he was risking a lot around the outside, and he just basically ran into a dead end.
Looked like another Espargaro brother that's going to be down to the hospital, though. That looked like he got fairly well crunched by the motorbike. Paul Espargaro might have been the cause of it, but he's also the man with the pain. Here comes Marc Marquez at turn 1. Beautiful move, just places it where Petrucci can do nothing about the move at all.
Yeah,
and Petrucci has to sit back.
Good solid pass. Just a quick shout out, Bradley Smith up to 10th place. Keith.
Good shout out.
Just said his fastest lap. And Bradley, just to put that into some context, Bradley Smith's lap times are 22.2s, as fast as the leaders are going.
Right, now we're going to see what kind of pace, as Lorenzo has the fastest lap, what kind of pace Marc Marquez has now. He's got a bit of fresh air, and he's got into that second place in front of Petrucci and Valentino Rossi. Rossi looks calm, cool and collected. He saves all his efforts for Sunday. They work their way through free practice, but Rossi always has something extra come Sunday, doesn't he?
In all his interviews this weekend, he's been complaining about the electronics on this bike. Lack of grip, spinning up way too much.
We've seen Viñales and the team on the other side of the Yamaha garage changing the tank to try and move the fuel around, change the centre of gravity on the Yamaha. Yamaha working very hard to make it work. Right now, though, it's the man with the old bath mat stuck to his tank that's out front.
It looks like, do you know when there's a proper bodge job done in a garage?
That's what it looks like.
It looks like a bodge job. We're talking about Lorenzo's new tank design.
They flew it in last night, didn't they?
Yeah, well, I don't think it flew in. I think someone had to drive it here to
pick it up on the bottom of a shower down at the hotel.
And it looks a bit like that. Like I say, it looks like a bit of a bodge job. But like I was saying, you'll like this. I was still with Davide Tardozzi, and we were like smiling about it. And then I said to Davide, listen, if you go past that finish line first, it doesn't matter what the bike looks like. Yeah. And do you know what he was saying? He was looking at me going, riders.
Yeah, he was pointing the finger at you. Takaki Nakagami's gone down. He came via qualifying 1 onto the 4th row as well. Worked hard. Good to see him okay. The other LCR rider, of course, Crutchlow's teammate. Now then, Valentino's looking pretty racy, isn't he? And Marcus is doing what I thought he might. He has got the pace once he's got fresh air in front of him.
Yeah, like I said, just set the fastest lap of the race, Marc Marquez. Very similar lap time to Jorge Lorenzo.
Even Valentino's working that edge grip really hard on the Yamaha as well. Look at him. You just saw him starting to spin it up slightly. You cannot do it with so many laps still to go. 24 and a half laps as we drop down Ralph Boltman curve down towards the penultimate corner, turn 12. Valentino is king down here on the brakes. Runs it out a bit wide though.
How many people has Valentino Rossi passed into that turn 12?
Didn't look stable there though, I'm afraid, with a full fuel load on still.
No, you're right.
Final turn, up onto the front straight. Valentino Rossi just struggling to get that Stockton turn. Meanwhile, Jorge Lorenzo, that's a 1:21.9 versus a 1:21.8 of Marc Marquez. So Marquez closes it by another 1/10 of a second. Just quite... He's just putting it wherever he wants. A late apex there. It looked like he ran it wide. He didn't. He was looking for a late apex down to turn 2. This is your race leader. Jorge Lorenzo. Petrucci was the fastest man, just 21.8, but Marquez was just a little bit behind, on by a couple of hundredths.
And I've got a feeling they're going to just slowly catch Jorge Lorenzo.
It's going to be about tyre degradation. It's a term I hate to use. It's more a car race term than bikes, I must say, but it is going to be critical here at Sachsenring.
It's such a unique track. Look, just look at the bikes. How often do you see the bike straight up and down, stood up? You don't. You are always on the side of the tyre, and that's why the tyre just it just overheats. The tyres can't cope. The rubber starts to melt, and then you get this really greasy feeling.
And nothing you can do about it. It floats over the track, and there's nothing you can do about it at all. My worry is a little bit the front. They've got a bit softer on the right-hand side of the fronts, haven't they? And that's turn 11.
Yeah, where we've seen no crashes, where we normally saw crashes because the right-hand side of the tyre was a little bit too hot. Now it's almost too soft. There's no crashes, but we've seen a lot of wear.
Late in the race, that's going to be a real problem over turn 11, and the first time they're going to know about it is when it tucks in underneath them and they're picking it up out the gravel. Still Lorenzo. Bautista's put the fastest lap in, 21.836, so Bautista is the fastest man of the race now, back in 8th place on the number 19 machine.
And just looking at the lap times, we've got Lorenzo 22.0, Marquez 22.0, Petrucci 22.0, Rossi 22.0, Crutchlow 22.0. It's close.
Wonderful. There's Bautista, fastest man in the race so far. And he's on a what?
He's on a 2017
Ducati. I'm told next year all the old bikes, they're going to be on 2018 bikes next year. There will not be any of the older ones than that come next year's allocation of Ducatis.
Yeah, basically in the paddock at the moment we've got an A, B and a C bike. We've got the latest bikes, the 18s, we've got 17s and 16s. Carol Abraham and Xavier Simeon are on the 16s.
They're right back, low down. Here is Valentino Rossi as he takes a slightly tighter line as he lines himself up for the right-hander. Danilo Petrucci, he's on the Pramac bike, but that is a 2018 factory Ducati, make no mistake, and he rides it like one too. What amazes me is how well Ducatis have been going here at Sachsenring. You would not have said this was their racetrack at all, would you?
Not at all. And when we got here on Thursday, I interviewed every Ducati rider and some of the bosses, and they were already playing down their chances. They were saying, well, yeah, we don't stand a chance. They would never say that, but they're like, history is shown our motorcycle doesn't turn too well when you're on the side.
Valentino, but he's going to get squeezed by his old mate Petrucci, but Petrucci lets him through. Nicely placed, Valet. That was a perfect pass on Petrucci, and the Ducati's quick up the straight, and he is good on the brakes as well. Pedrosa, by the way, has been giving us some quite good pictures. Bautista's just got in front of Vinales. If you saw your left-hand tower changing, Bautista went in front of Vinales, but Pedrosa in 9th place, battling away. It'll be his last German Grand Prix, remember, so give him a shout and a wave whatever he does. Everybody on the move there as they squeeze down the hill, every rear tyre squirming.
Yeah, and they've only done 8 laps out of 30. Wow. When you put it like that, it's incredible, isn't it?
Vinales usually has late race pace. I wonder if he's got any left for here. There's plenty of late race coming, that's for sure.